to a couple conversations.
Welcome back to a couple
We're
conversations.
sitting in the car on the way to Bainbridge.
Calling the way to Bainbridge for another episode of a couple conversations, reporting to you live, not really live, recorded from the inside of our car. We are on our way to Bainbridge Island. We're about to take the ferry.
I know we wanted to create continuity in our beginnings.
We did want to create continuity, so on the after the last episode, I was like, maybe we need to come in with a hook because some of you guys might be just entering into this journey, right, of these episodes, and you find this episode and you're like, all right, well, what are you guys about, right? And then we're like, all right, what's the 2, 3, 4 sentence hook that just kind of goes through the premise of what it is that we're doing and sums it up so that when you're coming into an episode, you can, I don't know, better align with what it is that we're even trying to do here. So yeah, we haven't come up with those couple of sentences yet, though. Should we give it a try?
We can.
Yeah. Okay. Are you giving it a try or am I?
You give it a try.
Okay. Okay.
I'll think about something.
All right. So maybe something like this is a couple conversations where we speak on things related to building life together through partnership, through business, and we talk about real topics, something to that effect.
This is a couple conversations where we talk about real topics. Subject matter is focused on building relationships and a partnership. And what were the things that you said? You said,
I don't know, something like that. Just make it.
yeah, partnership, relationship, and and
I think I said partnership in business and life.
partnership in business and life.
Yeah, something like that.
I
So
like
it's a quick, couple sentences. Well, anyway,
yeah. So this is a couple conversations where we talk about real topics, real life. Subject matter is focused on building partnerships and relationships in business and life. Today we're talking about this.
today we're talking about us building a partnership in business and why it is we're even going to Bainbridge in the first place. So there's an event.
Both.
No, it is. So this is date night. Um, but it also kind of turned into like networking esque. So we try to attend events together where we get to have fun, enjoy each other's space, but also kind of mix, mingle, network, talk to people, and create connections because we're in the business of relationships, and I think business is relationships regardless. So, um, so I had we were over at Bainbridge a couple days ago, and we stopped off at the museum. I just wanted to poke my head in, just see what was up, and then I came back out to the car and I told Jinji, I was like, "Yo, they have this event going on this Saturday. That's free entry. Would you like to go together?" And they're like, "Yeah, yeah." And then later on, I went to their website and then I reached out to some of their communications department, and I'm trying to build relationships, and I want to. So I offered, like donated services or just conversation around it, and they're like, "Hey, why don't?" And then they invited me, and they're like, "Hey, why don't you come to our event on, you know, the 17th?" And I was like, "Oh well, bet." I was already planning on going.
You are building relationships.
So yeah, so that's what we're doing, and yeah, and we just do that. We make it make sense. We want to spend time with each other. We go out into the world, and
And we spend a lot of time together because we live together, but it's a little different when we're able to not only work together so fluidly, and I think we work together very well, but we're also able to enjoy that and feel like we're spending quality time together. Like we're spending intentional and quality time together where I get to watch him succeed and he gets to watch me succeed. And we get to do it together. And we also get to, like, we just had a beautiful dinner together. And that was really fun and enjoyable. And now we're spending time together. We're making a trip together. Um, And yes, there's like business opportunity that will stem from the spaces that we're in because we spend our time intentionally. It's like any good ingredient is used for more than one dish. It's it's kind of the same thing, you
Yeah.
know. Um, so one outing can be meaningful in a plethora of ways.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing.
We're gonna be we're gonna be driving onto the ferry here in a moment.
Okay, so that was the intro. This is what that looks like. We'll be back in some time.
Okay. We'll be back. Okay, we're back. We're back.
We're back. We are on the ferry and we're on our way to.
Our futures.
Oh, yes.
Since the beginning of us,
Hmm.
we've been we've been pretty good at being intentional around kind of that crossover. We spoke about it, right? We've written about it in our journal, in our shared journal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, creating crossover and how it is that we can work by each other and with each other, whether it's in the arts or not in the arts. And this is just one of those ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
Create opportunities, go out, have fun, talk to meet people, bix, mingle, go to a museum, go to a show, um, and create the opportunities. So last night, Jinji and I, we were playing this little card game, and on the cards asks has a question that you ask. The question was, damn,
If you could relive
yes,
1 year of your life, what year would it be and why?
right. And we both said we would relive the last year that we've spent together. We would relive it, right? Okay. Not change, not regret, no nothing. It's like no, relive. Like you relive the moment. And having lived this year that you said you would want to relive, what if now you saw like a stop in my momentum and my movement? You've got a year of loving me, of experience, of experiences, and then I stop.
That would let me know that something was going on with you that was beyond the integrity portion because you've already proved or shown that you're a trustworthy individual who is of integrity. And so then I would say, okay, so what's going on and what do we need to work through and how can I support you? Because it's a different discussion rather than if you're just, you know, talking talking mess and not actually doing anything from jump. That shows a lot. That says a lot about your character.
So then, if my integrity has already been like proven,
Mm.
right? Then is it proven indefinitely?
Not necessarily, no. But it would raise a flag. My first instinct would say, like, oh, something's up. I wouldn't say, wow, his integrity has changed.
Okay,
That wouldn't
so
be my immediate. I would first say, what's wrong? How can I support you? I've seen this momentum and this drive and this hunger in you for this long. What's going on? What has shifted?
mm.
And then if then that led me to believe or he just looked me
people
in the
people on the ferry
face.
walking and looking at us.
He said, no, if wow. Then if I were to then approach you in that way and then still you would have been like, oh no, it's just, blah blah blah, whatever. And then it were to shift or you were to start falling off on other things that you say you were gonna do, like, oh, I'll order the shea butter or I'll, get this or I'll do this. And then just all around things started falling off, then that would be more of an integrity conversation, I would feel
Right.
like.
Okay. Hmm.
Why do you ask?
Well, I mean, you know, things change, right? I'm not saying that that's where it is that I'm going. I'm just curious. Like the question occurs to me, like, what if my ambitions, right now they're to take over the world, like literally pinky in the brain type shit. But then what if they were to be like, all of a sudden I go for so long with that momentum, with that movement, with that mindset, that mind frame, that goal, that ambition, and then all of a sudden I'm just like, you know what? I think I'm gonna go back to nursing, and then just be a nurse until I'm whatever. And then the lifestyle that we've been talking about and dreaming of and forging and constructing, then all of a sudden just talk starts to take on a different shape or not a shape altogether because we're
Hmm.
not building towards that anymore. Then all of a sudden we're in like, I could see it being a difficult situation in regards to, you know, not being in so much of an alignment.
Hmm.
So that's where the question is coming from. Now again, I ain't going back to no goddamn job. I ain't going back to no nursing. That's not it. Um, but it speaks to the like the drive and intention that we are employing to make date nights like this a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of the time, but just like it's just a thought. Hey, we could do this together and also build our future together at the same time. And it makes it more seamless. It makes it more of like a lifestyle and less of
Mm-hmm.
work. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that we can avoid uh, situations like that where so much steam is spent and then all of a sudden the person's spent and then
Mm-hmm.
they fall into doubt and despair and depression and
Mm-hmm.
they don't know if what it is that they're working on is ever going to come and so on and so forth.
I think that's where we come in to help each other though as well, because we've both had those moments where we've definitely been burnt out, um, but we're not in a space where we want to give up, but we're just spent for sure. Um, and then there's a reminder, a loving reminder, hey, okay, today is going to be a recoup and recovery. Today is going to be we conquer what we can. And today is a remember you did do a plethora of things. Even if it wasn't everything, you did a lot today still. And that, it, I feel, helps, at least helps me keep going. And we've talked about it before, just the way that we support each other, allowing us to flow through those stages, because as creatives and as entrepreneurs, there's always going to be those moments where you're like, what am I fucking
Yeah, all the
doing?
time.
And then you're like, okay, and
Crying and
I'm
shit.
still going to do it.
You
Yeah.
got it's got snot in the
Yeah.
nose. You got the eye boogers.
You're just like,
Your belly button's dirty.
what?
All of it, man.
He's like, I'm telling you.
All of it. You got ants in your apartment. Just craziness. Craziness, man. You start making friends with like animals and spiders and plants and talking to yourself and
I think that's an everyday occurrence.
yeah, you
Talking to
start going a
plants
little
at least.
crazy.
I mean, yeah.
Maybe it's not crazy. But anyway, so yeah, if y'all out there and you have a partner, if you have a beloved dope,
Hmm.
make sure you spend time, make sure that you spend intentional time building with each other. Uh, Relationships are everything, relationships are business. So this applies to I don't care what industry you're in. Go out, make a date of it, meet, talk,
I'm
mix,
curious
mingle.
though. How might we, if you were to ever say, one, going back to what you were saying before, I think that would still be a discussion. If you were like, wow, I'm spent, I'm done with this, I want to go back to nursing, I'd be like, well, we said we were going to do XYZ. We're still doing that. I support you, but how are we still doing that if you're doing this? Cool.
Okay, what
So, but that being said, what might that look like, do you think? I know it's not
what
going to
might
happen.
what look like?
If,
What would be the plan then?
well, yeah,
In
because
that
you
scenario, it
mentioned,
wouldn't be.
no, because you mentioned individuals working in whatever field, right? And I know a lot of individuals who are in very happy relationships, but they're in completely different fields, or they're
No,
not necessarily in a situation
that's
where,
not what I was saying.
oh,
I was saying I was saying if you're in business and partnership with someone, with a beloved, right? That type of partnership. Um, it doesn't matter what field that individual person is in. It doesn't matter what field either of the people within the relationship
hmm.
are in. It still applies. You know, it's not going to look exactly like this, but there are renditions as to where you can create time
Hmm.
to 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 do both. Not all of the time, but you can create time to where you have opportunity
Yeah.
to push forward your ambition in your career field while also spending tender love and care time with the person that you're with, right?
Yeah.
It's like finding the crossovers where they happen.
Okay. That makes sense.
That's what I was getting at.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. This has been another episode of a couple conversations. Glad we can clear that up before we xed out the episode. What are you looking at? What?
Nothing.
What are you looking at?
I don't know. I was just like wondering. There's nothing to really clear up.
I mean, you had a question.
I had clarity. I had clarity now. Thank you.
So you didn't have clarity, and then you received clarity, and I said, "I'm glad we can clear that up." And then you're like, "We didn't have anything to clear up."
We did.
Oh, okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. Anyway, um, thanks for tuning in to this wacky episode of us heading over to Bainbridge.
It's date night. We
It's
absolutely love each other, and we're also doing business. DBA, doing business as a couple.
Okay. Goodbye.
Okay. Goodbye.